Assalamu alaikum. You see, when we understand God, uh, we learn that we are actually talking about someone who is perfect, who is infinite in his attributes, uh, and obviously is therefore not like us humans. So, while understanding him and while appreciating his different attributes, we must never forget that the attributes that we are pondering over, reflecting upon, are not human attributes, which are always limited. So, when we talk about God's attribute of knowledge, for example, his attribute of knowledge is, like all other attributes, perfect. It has got no weakness, it's complete. He knows everything of the past, everything that is happening right now, and everything of the future. If he doesn't know any aspect of these different times, uh, he's not a god. He is like us, imperfect. Another attribute of the Almighty is that he's fair and just. His justice is complete, is perfect. If he has put us in a test, then it is absolutely essential that we be given to go through a test which has not been forced upon us. And we are not doing things because somebody else is pushing us to do them. If we are to be blamed for doing certain things, it's it should simply be because we are doing it on our own discretion. Otherwise, blaming somebody would be unfair. Both these aspects are are correct and simultaneously possible and happening. He knows what I'm going to do in the future because he's knowledgeable, and he knows that what I'm doing is because of my own decision, free will. So he knows beforehand that a certain person A is going to continue to do good things despite being free to choose to do bad things, and he's going to therefore end up in the paradise. And there is a certain person who is doing evil things despite knowing what is evil and what is good, and despite knowing that good is desirable, he will still do wrong uh, deeds, bad deeds, uh, freely on his own responsibility. That's why he's going to end up in the hell. In other words, God's knowledge is what causes some people to think that all all future is predetermined, and God's attribute of justice is what causes freedom to be the more significant possibility that would explain why we do certain things. Now, obviously, our difficulty is that we normally A, do not know, do not see anyone having attributes which are perfect, and B, we do not further know that somebody has perfect attributes and all attributes are functioning simultaneously. Now, that's the reason why when you start thinking about God's attributes beyond a certain limit, you get puzzled. It's perplexing. it's confusing. Not because it's wrong, but because it's in the nature of um, these attributes of the Almighty. It's in the nature of God that we can't see Him beyond, we can't understand Him beyond a certain limit. Like we can't see the sun and continue to stare at it, despite the fact that our ability to see is otherwise very good. So, like our ability to see, likewise, our ability to think and imagine are, after all, limited. In order for us to have an idea that this is certainly possible and it's happening and is going to continue to happen, God sometimes causes us to go through certain experiences, like the experience of somebody who has a dream, and the dream tells him that a certain incident is going to take place. Now, the dream is actually talking about a future event, incident, which happens because a person A, for example, will do certain thing, and a person B will do another thing, and both will come together. For example, A and B will collide with each other and will have an accident. Now, this is something which a person C is actually dreamt of, and that accident actually takes place, and which is what we find quite often that is happening in this world, that people see dreams and they actualize, they become a reality. Now, A would go to the road where B would also come at the same time without anybody pushing them. And yet, all this was seen beforehand. So, such dreams and such incidents, they take place in order for humans to be given an idea that it's a reality, that God's knowledge is perfect, and yet there are many things that happen in the future and are bound to happen, which, despite the perfection of God's knowledge, they will happen because people will do things, take decisions on their own, independently and freely. If it's a puzzle for me as well, but it still is something which makes sense. It's a reality.